What can we learn about retirement planning from the game of baseball? Well, who better to tell us than Sean Lee? Of course, if you've been listening to this podcast before, you know that Sean is big on baseball, and he coaches baseball teams as well as his son plays. And so we're going to have a good conversation with Sean about what we can learn about the game of baseball and retirement planning together here on Retirement Elevated.
Let us help you reach your peak in retirement. It's time for Retirement Elevated with Sean Lee.
Hey gang, welcome into the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with Sean and I as we talk investing, finance, and retirement. And it's baseball time, Sean.
Shocker.
I don't know if that came out of knocked that one out of the park or not. I don't know if that translated or not. I tried to do the little pop thing with my. I've never been very good at like people that you can use their finger and do that boop.
Oh yeah.
Make a little pop sound. I've never been good at that.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it either. You doing all right today? How you doing?
Yeah, just in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Talk about baseball. It's that
You're
time
here.
Of year.
You're here for it. Well, we're into late June, right? So obviously, pro baseball is moving right along, doing its thing. And are you guys fully in swing as well?
We're just wrapping up now. We've got 2 tournaments left. Is all.
Oh, okay.
But
When's the little season start for the guys?
It was different this year. We just put the boys together in one tournament in November,
Mm-hmm.
and then we let them play in that just for fun. We had a couple of new kids that joined our team, so it was to just get them out on the dirt. And then we actually started, I don't know, beginning of March.
Oh, okay.
But we did our schedule different this year. Usually we play in a local league, and we don't. Once we're in it, we don't get as much practice time, and so what we decided to do is, rather than doing the 20-game league, which is fine, it works out well. The boys get some development, they get some games in. We just added a couple more tournaments, so we'll play 11 tournaments, and the boys will still get their 60-ish games.
Oh, okay. And that way you kind of get some summer too,
time.
right? So
Yeah.
they still get a little summertime as well to do
and
other
we
things.
Can practice.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing at this age group is that kids don't practice as much anymore. They don't focus developmentally, and we're seeing that now, even this year with our boys. That,
Yeah.
You practice more, you focus on development and skills and fundamentals, you're going to win a lot of games.
I remember in high school, and I didn't play baseball, I played football, but in high school, obviously football season is in August, right? It kind of kicks off in August and goes until, December. But practice is, started in June and July. And of course, we just got out of school at the end of May, beginning of June. Like the last thing I wanted to do was go back to the high school. I had to go for football practice, and it was like, it was definitely demotivating to kind of want to get back over to the school during your summer months. He's like, no, man, I want to hang out with my girlfriend and, that kind of thing.
And just enjoy it.
Yeah. But
we wanted to do that. I mean, the boys work hard. They're all kind of just, they love the field. They love being there.
Right.
And so,
but it gets worse. I mean, they're like 10, 11, 12 right now, right? So that's just totally fun. But when you get to 15, 16, you start thinking, man, there's other things I want to do,
Right.
So you're not there yet. That day's coming, though.
At some point. I mean,
what are you going to do whenever he says, Dad, I don't want to play baseball. I want to go hang out with my girlfriend.
Go ahead, buddy. We all make choices.
There you go. Well, speaking of choices, let's talk about some financial ones then here. I guess we'll transition into retirement planning here in baseball. It's not all about the home runs. We were just talking earlier this month. We were kind of doing rookie mistakes, Sean. And I mentioned that, right? Sometimes a rookie mistake is trying to hit the home run because you feel, for whatever reason, that you need it. Right. We were saying, get Tesla before it became Tesla, right? Or get some sort of crypto or whatever the thing is because you think you need this home run. And this as a baseball guy, who has the most strikeouts? Home run kings.
The home run hitters. Yeah.
Right, because they swing for the fences. So same kind of good analogy, I think, for financial.
No, I do too. And I mean, in finance, when it comes to retirement, you want to be, do you want to hit the occasional home run? Sure. But
it's exciting.
Getting on base and scoring runs is more important.
Right. It's not sexy, but, small ball.
We played a game a couple weeks ago, and our boys, they had a choice. They could either really get excited about it because it was a team that wasn't as good, and we didn't hit one home run that game, surprisingly. Usually somebody on our team is going to get one, or we're going to get one or two, but we had 15 hits, and we walked 6 times. We scored 18 runs, and I use that as the analogy because everybody on our team did something that day. Everybody scored. Everybody got on base. And when you get on base and you can stack up singles and doubles, you're going to score a lot of runs. And that's all we're trying to do in retirement is, let's stack up a lot of singles and doubles to make sure that you're successful throughout your entire retirement.
That makes sense, right? I mean, again, kind of having that solid plan, getting those singles and doubles. It's not sexy, but it gets it done. And that's what we really want, especially as we're getting older. We don't want necessarily the risk of the home run because that's what comes with it, right? I mean, again, it's really cool to get the home run, but it also comes with the risk to try to get that done. And so, therefore, it's not all about appearances, right? Think about, I mentioned small ball. Think about that movie Moneyball, right? Where they kind of did that whole concept, where it was like, hey, and that was, we're not a good-looking team. the team that Billy Beane put together for the Oakland A's, they were not good looking, right? But they had a kind of interesting idea. They had to stay within their monetary cap, and they got it done.
Yeah, I mean they
were successful.
They focused on the things that mattered, and that was statistics and fundamentals and
they didn't have the big guy, right? They didn't have the person that looked the part, right? So, like, if you're thinking about your portfolio, they didn't have the thing you're supposed. Oh, all right, let me use bonds for a second, Sean, and not to bury bonds either. How you like that joke? But let me use bonds for a second. We have that. They fit the part of retirement, right? We've been told forever bonds are where you need to move to as you move away from the stock market. But the last 3 years, that's not been the case.
Hasn't worked. I mean, bond rates have been zero. You look at where the Fed put the market or put
interest rates.
Interest rates is zero. Well,
they started.
That's a bad place to go if you want to create income
and they start ticking up right now. The rate's been ticking up, and that doesn't help, right? When rates are high, bonds die. That's the way I was taught to remember this, folks. Like when rates are high, bonds die. When rates are low, bonds grow. Well, so if interest rates are 5%, and you try to buy a bond now, but you bought, or you have a bond that you bought when it was 2%, nobody's going to give you 5% for that thing.
Nope, not. You got to sell it at a discount,
right?
And so when we start to look at the appearances, it's funny. We talk about. We talk about going into the advisor's office that they've got all these, and people bring them to us all the time. These fancy brochures of how well all their investments are going to do, and blah blah blah.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't mean it's going to work, right?
Right.
And you come into our office, we don't have a brochure anywhere.
Really? Nice.
No, we don't have any brochures about any investment company. For the simple fact that it doesn't matter. What matters is going through a strategy, building out the overall structure, and you can do that on a whiteboard, and then having the planning software in the back to just make sure that's going to work, right? So very simple theory on a whiteboard, then showing the facts and data through the plan itself. It doesn't matter. The brochures don't matter if the plan doesn't work.
Yeah. Very true, right? I mean, it's fancy, and it typically has the little tiny disclaimer at the bottom anyway, where it says, past performance does not indicate future things. So, don't be fooled by that. Appearances are not always everything, right? You want, sound logic, a good strategy, and things that are there versus just, look at this. This is neat. A shiny object. Blinky, blinky.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll have some fun. We'll wrap it up with this. I know you know what a 5-tool player is. Right, so in baseball, that's somebody who possesses 5 specific skill sets, and I'll let you tell folks what they are if you'd like. But I want you to give us, a retirement plan where, like, some 5 specific things that you might want to find in your strategy. The financial 5-tool player, if you will.
Yeah. So the 5-tool baseball player is, they focus on, and this is how all players are analyzed.
Okay. How they're kind of measured, right?
Score of. It's a weird scoring. It's 20 to 80 is how it works.
Okay. And the categories are?
And it's based on running speed, how fast you are, and you're 60. Mm-hmm. Your arm strength, do you hit for average, do you hit for power, and then your fielding ability, your ability to play defense.
Okay, so those are the 5 pieces that they look for. So not many people, I guess, typically have this, right? So if you got a player that can do all this, they're fine.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Harper is a 5-tool player. Okay. He's got arm strength, he's got the ability to play defense all over the field. He hits for power. He hits for average, and he is lightning fast. There are a few players that are like that out there. Mookie Betts is another one. But in your retirement plan, it pains me to say Mookie Betts. He's a great player, but he left my beloved Red Sox based on our own inability to re-sign him.
Okay.
But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
So in your retirement plan, I'm actually going to go with 6 instead of 5.
Okay. All right.
And so we've got your emergency fund. You need to have liquid money available for emergencies, the unknown that could happen. Regular income, which is your monthly, essential or even your discretionary incomes. You want long-term growth money. So we've talked in the past about segmenting dollars. We want health care and long-term care coverage potentially, legacy planning, and then the one that I will add in is a tax plan and tax strategy, which we didn't have originally, but I think tax planning is one of those tools that we really need to focus on in order to have a strong plan.
All right, so there you go. So there's the 6 pieces, right, that you want to have in your retirement plan to hopefully accomplish the very specific things to make sure that you're getting what you want done in retirement, and that's to be successful, right? Like anything, you're hoping to have a good retirement. Nobody wants to go back to work in retirement unless they feel like it, right?
Right.
Unless they choose to. Work optional is the term we hear all the times now. So, get yourself a good strategy in place, folks. Whether you like baseball or any kind of sport, any kind of whatever analogy. A lot of we do that all the time here on the podcast. Different analogies work well for it. And obviously Sean, loves baseball, so we tend to talk about that a lot. But if you got some questions and need some help, get on the calendar. Come on in and have a conversation and put a strategy together that's going to help you specifically with your situation. Get that, kind of 5-tool, or in this case, 6-tool retirement strategy going, and sit down with Sean and Scott and the whole team there at Elevated Retirement Group. 801-639-0095. It's 801-639-0095, or find them online at elevatemyretirement.com. Sean, thanks for hanging out, my friend, and breaking down baseball. We always appreciate your time, and hope you have a great week.
Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, and we'll see you in July, just around the corner here on Retirement Elevated with Sean Lee.
Investment advisory services offered through Elevated Capital Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.